What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the MindShare Podcast, the show that cuts through the noise, says what most people won't say, and gives you real-world strategies to help you work smarter, build mindshare, and grow a business that actually makes you money. I'm your host, David Greenspan, and this is episode number 361. Now, over the years, I've spoken on a lot of different stages and real estate conferences, corporate events, team trainings, masterminds. And I'll tell you something. Early on, I actually struggled to get booked because people didn't understand what mindshare meant. They'd ask, what exactly do you talk about? And I'd say, I talk about building mindshare. And they'd just kind of look at me like I told them I was selling invisible widgets. So I started to go narrower. I started to really hone in and go micro. And I started talking about things that everybody could relate to. Marketing, social media, video, newsletters, goals, systems, time management, more. And all those topics matter. They help you grow. The thing is, what I've realized, all of those things are actually under the same umbrella. They all feed one thing. We call it mindshare. Because mindshare isn't just a marketing concept. It's not just a business principle. It's a way of thinking. It's the path to success in everything you do. So, let's go back to the beginning for a second. What is mindshare? Mindshare is the space that you own in somebody's mind. It's what people remember about you when you're not around. We call it a top-of-mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. Again, a top-of-mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. It's how quickly your name, your message, your brand, or your lesson comes to mind when somebody thinks about a topic, a decision, a problem. And in business, that means when people think, real estate, they think of you. Or, let me ask you, you're listening right now, what do you do? What's your day job? Maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're in mortgages, maybe you're in something totally different. But whatever it is that you do people think of you first? Think about leadership. It's when your team automatically acts on your values, even when you're not there to tell them. Think about it in parenting. It's when your kids hear your voice in their head reminding them to do the right thing. Think about it in coaching. It's when your players execute the play because they've internalized the fundamentals that you taught them. See, that's mindshare. It's not about logos. It's not about ads. It's not about slogans. It's about connection. It's about repetition. It's about influence. It's what Canada has with hockey. It's what Nike has with Just Do It. It's what every parent, leader, and brand wants. To be remembered and respected when they're not around. So as always, let's give you an action step on this. Now that you understand what mindshare is, I want you to write down one word or a sentence that you want people to associate with you when you're not in the room. Again, for me, it's build mindshare. Build mindshare. Mindshare equals market share. You know me well. You've heard me say that a million times before. See, come up with that word or that sentence. That right there is the foundation of your mindshare. Now, the thing is, mindshare doesn't just grow on trees. But seriously, it doesn't just belong in marketing meetings. Mindshare belongs everywhere. It belongs in business because it drives sales. It belongs in leadership because it drives culture. In families because it drives values. In sports, it drives execution. So every single one of us is building mindshare whether we realize it or not. The only question is, what are people remembering you for? Like, influence isn't about being the loudest voice, right? Just screaming and yelling and doing. It's not. Moreover, I'd say it is about being the most consistent one. Like, I remember, years ago when I used to go, again, back definitely in the early days of speaking and taking stages and addressing audiences and whatnot, we used to go. I remember there was this one event that I did where there were another, 4, 5, 6 speakers there. I'm trying to remember, see everybody's face in my head right now. But there was another 4 or 5, 6 speakers that were there. And we were all kind of this traveling roadshow. And it was the same event, but it was put on across, a bunch of different cities. And, we'd do the event, and then we'd all go home. And then, a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it was, we'd all travel to the next event. We put on the exact same event, just at a different venue with a different audience in a different city. Anyways, it got to a point where all of my colleagues in the green room would make a joke of let's see how many times Dave says, build mindshare, in my talk on stage. And they'd make a bet for how many times I was actually going to say the word while I was on stage. I mean, kind of funny. It actually got so funny, it actually turned into how many times they were going to say mindshare while they were on stage. But if you look at that and you think about it and you go, well, why are people making bets about how many times you're going to say it? And why are people starting to say it? Well, because it's consistency. I'm the most consistent at saying it. And of course, yeah, naturally I would be. It's my line. It's my thing. But because I'm so consistent, it started to rub off on others, and they started to pick up on it, and they started to implement it. And realistically, that was helping me build more mindshare. Again, though, think about that. The consistency is what led to that. And not only did it lead to my colleagues betting about it, having fun with it, and saying it, it led to the audiences hearing it repetitively, that they began to associate the word mindshare with me. And at the end of the day, whether people understand mindshare or not understand mindshare, they hear the word, they think about me. Now it's up to me to be able to, explain what it is, kind of exactly what we're doing here today, to help you understand why it's so important to build for you, no matter what line of work you're in, or if this is a parenting or a leadership or a coaching thing. Because again, we need to be consistent about our message, and we want people to think about us, right? You could spend money on ads, you could post every single day, but if you're not saying something, actually saying something that sticks, none of it matters. Nike simplified the shit out of it with just do it. Simplified. And now anytime we hear do it or just do it, you think about Nike immediately, and they just continue to repeat it. In fact, they've never changed it. And look, that if you're sitting here today being that one word, that action step I gave you a moment ago, and you're thinking that one word, that one sentence, you're I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going to go viral. I don't know what people are going to remember me for. I don't know what I'm going to be able to use for years on end. I get it. That is not an easy thing to think about right now, for sure. And however we came up with Build Mindshare, it popped up at one point and it stuck. And then again became the thing. Even at times where it felt funny, it felt maybe corny, it felt like repetitive, it felt like a broken record. People began to associate it, and I could tell people would talk to me about it. They'd bring it up. They'd ask more questions. See, we, people, we follow what we remember. We trust the things that we recognize. And we stay loyal to what makes us feel connected. So again, when we think about, we continue to say build mindshare, mindshare equals market share. We continue to show up at different events. People start to see us more often. They recognize. And then what happens? People start to leverage. They start to inquire. They start to, hire. They start to sign up. They start to whatever, right? Take part in. And as it's working, and it's very real and very legit, and obviously, it works. It actually produces results. People stay loyal. They stay connected. And all of that together, when you put all of that together, that is what you call MindShare. So I'll give you another one here, okay? Another action step. I want you to think of a relationship this week. Could be business, could be personal, family. Ask yourself, what am I doing to stay top of mind with this person in a meaningful way? Think about it. What am I doing to stay top of mind with this person in a meaningful way? Doesn't have to do with business, doesn't have to do with money, doesn't have to do with anything. What I'm trying to help you do is build positive mind share. Again, people follow what they remember, they trust what they recognize, and they stay loyal to what makes them feel connected. So whether it's somebody in business, somebody, on the personal side of life, a family member, what am I doing to stay top of mind with this person in a meaningful way? Let's take a quick commercial break here. This episode is powered by our amazing partners who help you build MindShare every single day. Kids Keep in Touch Systems, the marketing and CRM platform that keeps your database connected and your business consistent, driving tons and tons of repeat and referral business your way. REM Real Estate Magazine, the trusted voice of Canada's real estate industry, delivering the stories, insights, and strategies that matter most. And Revel Realty, redefining real estate through creativity, collaboration, and culture. Remember, everything these companies do help you build a lot more MindShare. Okay, let's get back to our show. Now let's talk about how to actually do this. Okay, how do we build MindShare in everything we do? Because that's really the driving force here. Like when we talk about the big umbrella action step as to what I want to recommend for you guys to do. We want to build MindShare in everything we do. Okay, again, in your business, your leadership, your home, your life, like not just one silo where you're just going to do it in business. Like I'm talking everything. So let's talk about how. Okay, because I want to give you a framework for this so you can actually implement this. So first step, and I actually just alluded to this a moment ago, and this is the magic ingredient to achieving anything you want in life, anything. Be consistent in your message. People can't remember what you keep changing, right? So something keeps changing all the time. And you keep, again, come back to the slogan we just talked about. You keep changing what you say. You keep changing the way you say it. I go away from, build MindShare or MindShare equals market share. And I start talking about, be top of mind, occupy a space in their mind, make people remember you. I mean, it all kind of sort of says a similar thing. Or maybe the exact same thing, arguably. But it's not the same thing. Because I keep changing. So what we want to do here, again, when we talk about being consistent in your message, is to decide what you stand for. And then repeat it until everybody around you says it back to you. And that's, again, where, as we went down this journey many years ago in building MindShare 101, and it was really a concept to begin with. It was this idea of building MindShare. That's where we started. It was to build the MindShare. Then we turned it into a brand called MindShare 101, and then we leveraged this slogan of build MindShare. And then people started saying it back to me. Now, I will tell you, admittedly, over the years, the progress of progressing forward and developing the brand and developing, a deeper knowledge of the industry and a deeper delivery in terms of, the offerings that we provide and the solutions that we provide and the way we help people solve problems. Because we went through so many, this huge evolution, and it's still evolving, right? Like it just keeps happening. And we started to go a little bit more micro in different topics. I don't want to say I dropped the build MindShare by any means, but I got away from the frequency of the way I said it, how often I said it, how often I used it. And we started to just, and it wasn't that we changed the slogan or the way we said something. It wasn't like, again, I said, be top of mind. It's we started talking about, and we do talk about so many different solutions that there's so many messages. But I've realized it. And actually, that's a big reason for today's episode. Because I've realized that we haven't been using the Build Mindshare as often and as frequent as we used to. But I also take notice as we're sitting here in business planning season and we're sitting here in preparation for the new year and we're looking at, what did we do this year and how did it go and what can we make it better and all those things. And I looked at that and I said, hold on a second. Did we get away from what our core delivery, our core message is? Did we get away from driving home that so important message to people? And I feel personally like I did, just a wee bit. And in saying that too, I would tell you that it actually bred a space of evolution for me. It bred a space of, the expansion of this thought around building mindshare, that it goes so much deeper than just doing it in business, than just having people remember you to essentially hire you for something. But as I've alluded to, as a parent, as a leader, as a coach, as a person, and you think about the relationships and you think about the people you interact with, now you start to realize, wait a second. Again, when I'm consistent with that message, it really resonates with other people. So that's your first step in this framework, is to be consistent. Okay, decide what you stand for and then just keep repeating it until people start to say it back to you. Now the second step to this, be relevant to their world. Speak to what matters to your audience, right? Speak to what matters to your clients, to your team, to your family. You've got to figure out what matters to them. And, okay, again, not necessarily off the left, but example here, this is why we start to go more micro with the topic of mindshare and break it down into the different marketing strategies and business strategies and systems. But now I'm going even more micro because I'm creating more of a connection here beyond just the business. And we're creating, seriously, relevance to build that connection, because the connection is what builds memory. So now when you think about mindshare and you go beyond and as a starting point today, because again, this is one episode, one delivery, one channel, one time. But I will continue to remind you from now on going forward that mindshare is not just about business. Very powerful for business, very, very powerful business. However, let's go bigger. It can go, it does go so much wider. And as long, again, as we find the relevance to their world, now we're going to make a connection that's going to, again, build that memory. It's going to build that, say it, mindshare. All right, step 3 here. Somebody said to me recently, we need more empathy, okay? And I'd say step 3 here isn't about being empathetic, but moreover, it's about being emotional, not transactional, right? Really feeling, not physically, but feeling the person, right? People don't remember numbers. They remember how you made them feel. So when we do show up with empathy, we do show up with enthusiasm, with the truest version of ourselves, authenticity, and not just information. But we actually create a connection. And we make people feel. And I hope I'm making you feel right now. I hope this is really resonating with you right now, where you're thinking to yourself, you're like, this guy's getting me thinking. Dave, you're getting me thinking right now. I'm going so far beyond my business right now. I'm thinking about myself as a person. I'm thinking of myself as a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, a sibling, a child. I'm thinking about myself as a person on this planet. And the way I interact with people when I go shopping, when I take part in my sports, or when I'm at the school, or out and about walking the dog. I mean, whatever. Driving on the road. Again, people remember how you make them feel. So when you think about your connections, relationships, interactions from an emotional standpoint, not a transactional standpoint. People remember you more because you're truly connecting with them in the most realist way. Okay, so again, when we talk about building the mind share, be emotional, not transactional. Now, step 4 here. Be present. Whether it's your marketing, whether it's your leadership, whether it's your parenting, you've got to show up. If you don't show up, if you are not there, and even if you're physically there, but you're not there in the truest version of you, if you're not creating that relevance, if you're not consistently, delivering that message, then you won't build the mind share. See, visibility, it builds familiarity. And familiarity builds trust. Trust is ultimately what you need to move forward with anything, whether it's a relationship in business or personal. We want to build trust. So again, as we think about being present and we think about showing up, this comes right back to really step 1 of being consistent in your message. Show up. Don't stop showing up. And even if things don't feel like they're working, keep showing up. Because that's how you build the trust. That is how you build the mind share. Come on, I know you're saying it with me as I say it, right? You can feel it's coming, but it's coming. Of course it's coming. So here, action step, okay? Third action step here. I want you to think one area of your life. Pick one area of your life. Again, it could be your marketing, your leadership, your family, parenting, extracurriculars. And ask yourself this. Am I showing up in a way that people will remember me when I'm not there? Now, if you think to yourself, 1, I don't know, well, then I want you to think here. Are you being consistent? Are you relevant to people? Are you thinking emotionally rather than transactional? And when you're there, are you present? Now, if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, maybe people do remember me, the next thing I want to ask you is it for the good or for the bad? But seriously speaking, right? Am I showing up in a way that people remember me when I'm not there? Ultimately, you want them to, and you want them to do it in the good. So as you use that framework I just gave to you, that's going to help you do that. It's going to help you show up, and it's going to help people remember who you are, and it's going to be in a positive jest. Okay? And this, again, comes right back to the idea of building mindshare in everything that you do. Okay, look, mindshare is the path. Mindshare is how you turn potential into profit. It's how you turn a message into a movement. It's how you turn lessons into legacy. But it's not about chasing attention. It's about earning recognition. It's the sum of everything you do, every post, every conversation, every moment where somebody interacts with your world. Look, we don't build mindshare once. You build it daily. Okay? You build it in your business, you build it in your relationships, you build it in your community. That's the work. That's the reward. Because again, mindshare equals market share. So the more I build it, the more I benefit. Now understand that, though. It's not the more I benefit, it's the more we benefit, because the people on the other end are going to benefit too. You're benefiting right now. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Of course you're benefiting right now. You're spending time. You've been here 25 minutes already. You're listening to the show. You're building knowledge. I'm giving you value. I'm giving you action steps, and I'm giving you something to get out there and be remembered by. Because the more they remember you, sorry, let me say that differently. The more mindshare you build, the more market share you get. So action step number 4. Write down 3 ways that you can build mindshare this week. And break them down, 1 in business, 1 at home, and 1 in your community. Okay, so again, write down 3 ways that you can build mindshare this week. One in business, one at home, and one in your community. So here's the big takeaway today. MindShare isn't a concept. MindShare is a lifestyle. It's how you lead. It's how you love. And it's how you leave an impact that actually lasts. So whether you're an entrepreneur, a parent, a coach, a realtor, a mortgage broker, a salesperson, a business owner, the list goes on, a leader, you're in the business of being remembered. So from this day forward, I want you to make sure, I want you to make this your mantra, okay? Build MindShare in everything you do. If this episode gave you a new way to look at your influence, share it with someone who's building theirs. And if you haven't yet, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or go over to Spotify. It helps people discover this MindShare podcast. Thank you to our amazing partners, Kits, Rem, and Revel, and thank you for tuning in. As you know, I'm David Greenspan, reminding you once again that MindShare equals market share. I'll catch you next time.